Skyrim is a land defined by its extremes, from frozen peaks to burning passions, from ancient dragon cults to rebellious Nords shouting for freedom. And yet, among all these forces, none are quite as divisive as the Thalmor, the golden-clad emissaries of the Dominion. They walk Skyrim's roads with calm arrogance of gods, their voices dripping with disdain, their motives cloaked in the guise of diplomacy. But beneath the veneer of law and order, the Thalmor embody something far darker: the manipulation of faith, the silencing of dissent, and the quiet rewriting of history. They claim to be peacekeepers, they claim to represent progress, yet everywhere they go, ruin and resentment follow. The Thalmor are not just another political faction, they are a mystery, one that defines the uneasy balance of Skyrim's world as well. Their power is immense, their intentions uncertain, and their presence a constant reminder that victory and freedom are not the same thing. This is the curious case of the Thalmor in Skyrim, the golden hand that grips the throat of the North. The Dominion presents itself as a vision of order. Its cities gleam with marble and gold, its people speak of purity, and its envoys wear the most refined armour in Tamriel. To the untrained eye, it appears as civilization perfected, but perfection, as the Thalmor prove, comes at a cost. They rose from the ashes of the Oblivion Crisis, preaching unity among the Altmer, Bosmer, and the Khajiit. Yet the Dominion's unity was founded not on cooperation, but on control. The Thalmor saw themselves as the inheritors of the divine right, not rulers by consent, but by superiority. By the time Skyrim begins, their influence stretches far beyond Somerset. They have infiltrated courts, brokered treaties, and dictated the very terms of Skyrim's civil unrest. And they have done all this under one symbol, the Mask of Peace. Their embassy outside Solitude stands as a perfect metaphor, beautiful, isolated, and heavily guarded. It is diplomacy wrapped in barbed wire, a reminder that their form of peace exists only when others kneel. The Thalmor's most infamous act was not a war, but a decree: the ban on Talos worship. For centuries, the Nords revered Talos, the dragonborn emperor, as a god, one of their own who achieved divinity through might and faith. To the Thalmor, this was heresy. No man, they declared, could ascend to godhood. To them, the very idea was an insult to elven supremacy. When the Great War ended, the White Gold Concordat forced the Empire to outlaw the worship of Talos. Shrines were desecrated, priests were executed, temples were seized. To most Nords, this was not peace, it was humiliation. And yet the Thalmor saw it differently. They understood the psychological wound they had inflicted. By stripping Skyrim of its divine symbol, they divided its people. Imperial loyalists versus Stormcloak rebels, faith versus law. In one move, they achieved what armies could not. They made Skyrim fight itself. That is the Thalmor's true genius. They don't conquer through blades, they conquer through belief. When the player first encounters the Thalmor, they seem civil, arrogant, yes, but composed. They refer to themselves as representatives of the Dominion, travelling to Skyrim to enforce the terms of the Concordat. But follow them and you see something else. You find them on roads escorting prisoners. You hear them interrogating worshippers of Talos. You discover their embassy full of torture chambers, secret dosses, and evidence of political manipulation. They are not diplomats, they are inquisitors. The Thalmor patrol the wilderness, killing anyone they deem a heretic. They wield both magic and authority with equal cruelty. Their words are polished, but their intent is absolute. Obedience through fear. To most Nords, they are foreign tyrants walking their land, untouchable and smug. Yet what makes them truly terrifying is that they don't see themselves as villains. In their eyes, they are custodians of order, the only ones enlightened enough to cleanse Tamriel of chaos. This self-righteous certainty makes them unmovable, unmerciful, and utterly convinced that history belongs to them. It's no coincidence that Skyrim's civil war erupted under Thalmor supervision. In fact, it's part of their design. Hidden documents found in the Thalmor embassy reveal the truth. The Dominion considers the war beneficial. They actively monitor and manipulate both the Empire and the Stormcloaks, ensuring neither side gains a decisive advantage. If the Empire wins, Skyrim remains weakened and divided. If Ulfric wins, the province becomes a rebellious, unstable state, one that the Thalmor can eventually crush. Either way, the result is the same: a fractured Skyrim incapable of resisting the Dominion's next move. This manipulation exposes the Thalmor's long game. They don't want immediate victory, they want exhaustion. They want a world so tired of war that it surrenders willingly to the promise of order. Their greatest weapon is not the sword, but patience. Located in the mountains north of Solitude, the Thalmor Embassy is one of the most striking and sinister locations in Skyrim. Its beauty hides cruelty. The polished floors, golden banners, and soft lighting give the illusion of refinement. But beneath the facade lies a dungeon filled with the broken, tortured prisoners, secret documents, and evidence of a foreign power pulling Skyrim's strings. The player's infiltration of the embassy during diplomatic immunity is one of the game's most revealing moments. You uncover dossiers on key figures: Ulfric, Delphine, even yourself. Every influential person in Skyrim is under Thalmor surveillance. What makes the embassy so unnerving isn't its brutality, but its efficiency. Every file, every prisoner, every act of violence is recorded, categorized, and justified. It's bureaucracy weaponized, cruelty with paperwork. This is how the Thalmor maintain control, not through chaos, but through perfect, merciless order. To understand the Thalmor's presence in Skyrim, one must remember that the Great War never truly ended. It simply just changed form. The White Gold Concordat didn't bring peace. It brought a truce built on fear and humiliation. The Thalmor's agents remain embedded in every corner of the Empire, watching, waiting, influencing. Skyrim's civil war, the rise of the Dragonborn, the chaos of dragons, all of it unfolds under the Dominion's gaze. They do not interfere directly, because they do not need to. Every death, every rebellion, every burned village serves their vision. A Tamriel too divided to resist when the Dominion returns in force. In that sense, the Thalmor represent something more than political tyranny. They are inevitability, the cold reminder that power, once taken, never returns willingly. At the core of the Thalmor's ideology lies a simple, terrible belief. The Altmer are destined to rule. To them, man is a mistake, a flawed imitation of the divine. The races of men, born from rebellion and mortality, are reminders of the gods' failures. The Thalmor see themselves as the architects of restoration, to purge the world of human imperfection and restore elven dominion over all creations. This mindset isn't just arrogance, it's theology. The Thalmor genuinely believe that their dominance is righteous, and that makes them uniquely dangerous. You can reason with greed, you can challenge ambition, but you cannot argue with faith. Every word they speak, every law they enforce, every act of cruelty, all of it is justified in their own minds as sacred. That's the paradox of the Thalmor. They commit evil in the name of purity. So what makes the Thalmor such a curious case? It's the contradiction they embody. They are both visible and hidden, lawful yet cruel, civilized yet monstrous. They wear the mask of the god, but behind it lies tyranny. They claim to preserve peace, yet thrive on endless wars. They see themselves as saviors, yet they bring only division. Every empire in Tamriel's history has risen and fallen by the sword, but the Thalmor may be the first to conquer through silence, through treaties, manipulation, and the slow erasure of faith. They are the shadow that falls not at night, but at noon, when the sun shines the brightest. And perhaps that is why Skyrim feels their presence so strongly. The Nords can fight dragons, they can rebel against empires, but they cannot fight an idea, especially one that wears the face of peace. The Thalmor are not just Skyrim's enemies, they are Skyrim's reflection, a mirror of its arrogance, its pride, and its endless struggle between freedom and control.